All right, I just want to do an update on the using three antennas on a television to receive three different markets of television. Now, I'm receiving perfectly the stations from Philly. I'm getting the stations. I put my best antenna aimed at Harrisburg. I'm getting all the stations without a dropout because of the leaves on the trees when they're swaying. That's been working great. Also, I took a one of my WineGuard VHF units, and I'm aiming it towards the house next door. But I'm getting early morning and late at night. I'm getting Delaware stations, the third market. So, and I'm using a high quality splitter in reverse, which is it's better than my WineGuard combiner. It has less loss. You can tell it's just better made. But I just want to tell you one more time with the review. If you let's just say you do two different markets, and you got two antennas in the attic, and one's pointed at one market, and one's pointed at another market, and both have the same length wire coming from those antennas down to the combiner. They have to be the same length. I recommend the same manufacturer. I'm using I forget the name of the company. I got it at Walmart, the 6 footers. So that was the trick. That's the first trick. Now, so you have two antennas, two markets. You run it down to the combiner and then down to your set. In my case, I have a juice amplifier up there after the combiner. Now, the next trick is say you got two markets and they're within 90 degrees of each other, and you aim one antenna at one market, one at the other. That's a mistake. Both antennas are going to get some of the other market signal, and it's going to go kaputskis on you. All right. In other words, it's not going to work right. And you can find this information if you dig around. The information of having the same length wire from each antenna to the combiner is on the WineGuard combiner page in the instructions. They mention it. It is mentioned. Now, as far as you have two markets that are within 90 degrees of each other, and you aim an antenna at each one, don't work right. You get nulling. You get stations that are missing. All right, so what do? Well, the first option is get a real good antenna, and you point it between you point the antenna in between the two markets. All right, that's all you can do. And you could stack two antennas on top of each other and aim them in the middle of the markets. All right, you can't have two antennas, each one at a different market. It is possible to work if one of the markets is really further away. There are tricks. I'm giving you the basics where you'll pull your hair out. I pulled my hair out a little bit, and I still have a lot of hair left for my age. But there's so in other words, uh, I have a guy making comments and stuff, but I'm into it 3 weeks total, and I've done all the experiments. Climbing up that little pull down ladder and crawling around in the attic. It did get cooler, and I'll sit down here and I'll go, let me try this. Let me try this. So everything I'm telling you comes from actual experience. I'm not repeating it. I could tell you the two wires have to be the same length that come from the antenna to the combiner, and go look at the WineGuard instructions for their combiner, and it tells you the same thing. So I found that out, and I double checked it with other sources, and then having two markets within 90 degrees of each other, and you put an antenna on each one, you'll get nulling. I've tested that. I have a market that has the other half of the signal, the other half of the stations for Harrisburg. It's got it's got the ABC market there, and it's got it's got two religious stations, and it's got the Pocono channel. And if you put one antenna at each one of those markets, what happens is the market from the right antenna or the Harrisburg antenna gets on the line for that would be the Red Lion market, and the Red Lion antenna gets some of the Harrisburg market, and there's nulling going on, and you get problems, right? So I've done that. I've confirmed that. Now I am saying if one of those markets is really further away, you might get away with something. You might. All right, you really want a high quality antenna, high gain, pointing in between the two markets that you want. And the antennas have to have a wider width of signal that they can receive. So, so I just want to tell you, I do have, right now I have 3 antennas going to splitter in reverse. And in the morning hours, I get Delaware. Their stations are on high VHF. And the station is actually behind, and that when I aim in that direction, I'm going through um, aluminum sided wall and through my neighbor's house. So I'm losing a lot of signal, but at night, after the sun goes down, I get those stations. And then in the early morning before the sun comes up, I get those stations, right? But they're also, everything in the Delaware market I have on the other 2 markets that I'm receiving. And I did mention I couldn't figure out why 29 wouldn't come in. And I went looking, these people on these groups, oh, I'm getting it over here, I'm getting it over here. And no one's listening to what the guy's saying. I went right to the engineer. Didn't think he answered me. He goes, you got a signal over in Lancaster. And that, right away, that made absolute sense. Because I knew both 17 and 10 and 29 are all in the same tower. And they all have the same power. And the pattern is a little different for 29. But this guy says, no, that's not, you can't get it because there's another signal over by you that's nulling it out. I knew right away because I've done the experiments. You know, you go and read these groups, these people shoot from the hip, they make stuff up. Now, I was talking to a guy yesterday. He pulled the same thing on me. Oh, the pattern, I just got done saying I was expecting the pattern to be different. That's why I couldn't get it. And then when I went to tell him what the actual reason was for 29, he says to me, well, they have different amounts of power. And now he's spewing back just what I got done telling him. And I said, no, I said, there's a station near me that has a tone or whatever it is on there. And I said, that's nulling out the station I want. And one day that wasn't on, and I got 29 perfectly. You know, I put the time in. I put the time in. I know pretty much about it. There probably are people that could go, well, go get the Televis combiner. And no, I'm not putting any more money into this. And here's how this all played out. I have I can right now. Friends is on at lunchtime, and then Seinfeld comes on. All right, here's the problem. I put it on, and it's the one where Phoebe Men Still Are Wind, and all. I've seen that episode a million times. And the same with Seinfeld. I'll put an episode on. My mind starts thinking ahead, and I'm getting the punchlines in my head before the program's done. The other thing with 2.5 Men at Night, which is a Fox channel, it would be 43.1 here, which I get now out of Harrisburg, and it works great because I got that new antenna I bought. I showed you that. It's a long distance UHF only antenna. I showed you on one of the past ones. That's going at Harrisburg. Now Philly, I can get anything. Any antenna will work for Philly. I told you what bogged me down was that 29. That turns out to be a trick. So now I have all these stations. Well, what I realized is my favorite programs. I still remember the episode so well that I put it on just for a few minutes, and then I go click it. See, with all the different channels I have now, and I blotted out the ones in Spanish. I blotted out all the crime channels. You get a lot of crime channels, cop channels. Well, anyway, I blotted those out. I have 25 channels of high definition signal through the air, and I channel surf. And I'm going to tell you, CarShield is a pain in the ass, and all those little sad story things that want money from you, and you can't get away from those. And then the other thing is, towards the weekend, a lot of the channels go to sports. So you look online, and it says what's supposed to be on a sports game or a college sports game, and most of your channels switch over to sports because I think anyway. That's what happens with that. So I have all these channels now, but they really don't always have something on there that I want to watch. And even like I can get the PBS, and I put on this Ask This Old House, and they're not really doing the real hard stuff anymore. They've dumbed it down. So I used to learn about new systems coming out for the houses and stuff, but now they've dumbed it down because the people watching that stuff have bought one of these crap houses like I have. All right, they're some are McMansions, some are smaller. You know, they have bifold doors. They don't have regular doors. They don't. It's just it's it's the minimal. And then the person will have a problem with something real simple, and they write a letter, and they go out there and help them with it. And you should see the guy can't even hold the tools right. So I'm off that channel. You know what I mean? I'm out of here. You know, but I understand how the world is going. The people that used to be on This Old House, they would go to a house and they'd get the homeowners, and some of the homeowners were really smart. What they were doing is they were interviewing people before, and then they had a whole bunch of people that wanted the old house worked on. They wanted to add additions, so they'd find a guy that was handy, and then when they went to the house, they would have the homeowner and the wife work on certain projects along with them. Now it's like the guy in the house. Oh, I don't have tools. I don't. I had those people around me in life. Can you come over and do it for me? Well, now would be a good time. Yeah, yeah. I had people that call me up. I told you I had people call me up. My remote control for my TV doesn't work. I'm going, I'm in bed. I got up. What time? It's 10:30. Yeah, but you don't understand. My remote control doesn't work. I had old people that would call me up 10:30 at night because the batteries were dead. And then I'd go over with batteries and test it all out. No, thank you. And they would never replace the batteries for me. This went on all the time. I could give you their names. They're all dead now. I outlasted them. But anyway, uh, it is what it is. You know, I ran a lot because it's my fault. A lot of these things are my fault. You know, I want to tell you, I got the idea of adding an extra, a better antenna on the thing, all because of that 29, and I can't get 29. And if I got really into it, if upstairs was big enough, you could put an antenna and aim it at the interference station, and then you can null it into the other antenna with a coil. It's doable, and then you can get just a station. It is, but it's not. I ain't going up in that coil space. And 29 is what did he say it was? It's Fox, but it's got a better sub channel. And that's what I told him. I said I can get Fox a couple different ways, but the problem is the Fox I wanted, which is 29, has what did I say? It had movies on it. There was another good one. Oh no, see, can't remember everything, but it had movies and something else on there, and I found it, and I was really happy. I got like three new stations, sub channels, and then all of a sudden I didn't have it, and it all turned out to be, I was chasing my tail on that thing, and finally, you know what? I always tell you, if I don't understand something, I find the right person, and I ask them, and they did get back to me. Usually when I contact an engineer at a station, they don't always answer me, and then sometimes I figure it out. But what was it? It was movies and something else. It was Fox, movies, and one other channel. It wasn't the Pocono channel was out there? Oh well, it is what it is. I think that's it. All right, that's it.